that, I would like to get our AI session started. Cupid Chan.
You
Yeah.
talk.
Oh, okay.
Ready? Yeah, yeah. Good afternoon. Well, I guess my English is not very good, so let's try it another way. Masa F hey. Okay, so, like for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm actually talking good afternoon in Arabic. And the language itself is very important for us to communicate. If you don't know what I'm talking, you miss a lot. But sometimes it's not only the language itself of English versus Arabic. Even though you are talking in the same language, you may still have the problem. I'm very glad that I can stand here in Dubai today, this week, because if it was last week, I cannot even fly out because in United States, we have a big historical snowstorm. And the temperature was dropped below 15 degrees Celsius. At the same time, my kids, they like to take hot shower. And you know what happened when you have minus 15 degree and taking hot shower? You have a very foggy mirror. And one night, after my daughter's shower, I saw a big number written on the mirror. And I was wondering, hey, what is this number? Hey, you don't know? It's the teenager thing. Don't know what is that. Of course, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. What is that 67? 67. Maybe it's just because a random teenager thing. So I did not pay too much attention until few days later. I hear 6-7 from the news. And then, in United States, there is a very famous fast food restaurant called In-N-Out. So they have a ticketing system after you take the order. So basically it's something like that. Order 66, order 66. Your food is ready. Please pick it up. Or something like this. This is how crazy are the teenager thinking about 6-7. And the news was telling that after this kind of craziness happens in the restaurant, they start to discontinue 67 in the ticketing system. So basically 66 and then 68, no more 67. I was like, okay, that may be something to think about. Why the teenager are so into this 67? If you ask them, they may think, oh, because it's cool, or because of FOMO, fear of missing out. Because my friends are doing that. If I'm not doing that, I will be the one left behind. Does it sound familiar to you? Yes or no? For those who don't know, let me remind you.
And the next big step we're taking is AI.
We professional, when we are talking about or hearing about AI, are we like very excited, like the teenager say 6-7? We don't even know what AI means. We don't even know what AI can do for us. We are so excited and sit right up and listen and say, I am doing AI as well. But that's not too important until I hear the very next news. That is, 6-7 is the word of the year by dictionary.com. Something interesting. A random word changing to a word of the years. Something we need to think about. What lessons can we learn from it? I think the very first thing I can think of is attention. If you want something to become the a word of the year, you really want it to be catching the people's attention. Not only the word itself, but if you think about it, sometimes the one who speak this word also want attention. That's exactly what the teenagers is thinking about. I want to get an attention. And I once was a teenager too. Yes, that's me. I was the guest performer in Miss Vancouver pageant. I grew up in Hong Kong. And when I was 19 years old, my family moved to Vancouver. I studied my undergrad there for 5 years, and then I moved to United States for 27 years. Hey, please put back your calculator or phone. Let me save you some math. I'm 51 years old, right? Pay attention here, not on your phone, okay? So I know that this is something that not only I want to get people's attention, but this is also my dream to really share something with people in an entertaining way. And one day, my dream came true. Someone from Hong Kong, he came and invited me back to Hong Kong to join the largest media group there. I was so excited. So I ran back home and talked to my Asian parents. Yes, you heard right. My Asian parent. What are you thinking about? You are studying electrical and computer engineering, and now you're telling me going back to Hong Kong to do this like an entertaining thing? No way. Of course, as a good son and want to become a good Christian testimony, I gave up my dream, at least temporary. So what I want to do is just to stay put and see what would happen. And then later on, I find out that attention itself is good. And also thank them, because if not them, I'm not going to stand here to address the keynote because I will be in my world tour of my concert around the world. But talking about this keynote, before I fly out here, I had a dinner with my friend, and he told me that, hey, Cupid, I told my daughter that your talk is about 6-7. And she said, it's already outdated. What's 6-7? I was like, there's no way. It's only like a few weeks back. It was the word of the year. How come it come out of the popularity so soon? And when I think about this, of course, because it doesn't really have the meaning. If something which is very cool, but without meaning, it will die down very soon. What is the meaning of AMSTRO? The mission of the AMSTRO is to shape the future where resilient and patient-centered cancer care should thrive in Asia and Middle East through guided by the innovation and local leaderships and global collaboration. That's why you are here. If attention brings someone in the starting line, having meaning will set you the direction for the finish line. So that's why when I look at the word of the years for the past few years, I noticed that some of them is already our favorite, but some of them is still doing that, or we're still using that today. One of those, it's selfie. It was an invented word back in 2013, but we are still using this now. And one of the very popular and famous selfie is this one from Oscar. And oh, by the way, did I tell you that this is my very first time in Dubai? And I only know 2 Arabic words, and I have shown you one already in the beginning. But I really want to take a selfie with you for my record and memory. Can I? Okay, so let me see if I can do that in a way right here. Okay, can you see yourself? No? Yes? Okay, let's do this way, okay? Well, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, let's check. Can you see yourself? Yes? Don't worry, don't worry. I have something for you. All right, right here. I have a microscope for you so that you can check yourself. Let me see, right here. At least you can see me, right? Okay, so let me try to zoom in. Right here. Ooh. Okay, wow. I don't see you, but I see something different. What is that? Let me zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that will become, oh, can you see it or not? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. One more time. Oh, yeah, right here. Right here. Almost. Now, that's the maximum zoom. Can you see yourself? Of course not. Because that's not you. That's the building blocks, the foundational building blocks of a picture. Let me hold it steady so that you will still see it, okay? That's the foundational building blocks of a picture. And that's actually the substance of a picture. And in addition for having attention and also the meaning, if we really want to learn really the lessons, especially in oncology AI, we also need substance. And some of you sitting here may be very excited and say, Cupid, don't worry about that. I got substance cover because of Gen AI. I can keep on getting more and more content that I cannot produce before in a rate and in a velocity that is so big, right? But let me remind you, that is not really a substance. If you want, I can call it a slop. In fact, if 6-7 is the word of the year for one authoritative organization, dictionary.com, you should be able to see that this slop, it's actually honored by 4 organizations to be the word of the year in 2025. But if you think about this, what really is the substance of AI? It is data. Without data, the substance itself is nothing. So, if you still remember the blue, red, green thing that I share with you, all this can be represented by numbers. And all these numbers ranging from 0 to 255, like this, all right? So, and you can see that this is an Excel, right? If I put all these numbers here, and if I do it correctly, what I can do is I can recreate something like this by proper formatting. Of course, if I do that, Cypher will kill me because I would take 1 day to do that at least. So, as some cooking show, I have already prepared the finished dish here, which is right here. You see, if I format this correctly, it will become all that green, red, and blue, just like what you see on my phone in a very low level. But you may say, Cupid, what is that? Let me zoom out a little bit so that you know this is actually the picture of the Oscar that we saw before. I recreated by just the number and the Excel spreadsheet alone. So if I keep on doing that, even though I said I gave up my dream of becoming an entertainer, otherwise I will be in this picture, right? Don't worry, because now I am an AI entertainer. I can put myself right here to be part of the Oscar selfie. And with that being said, I really want to thank you, Matt Parker, to inspiring me on this Excel exercise. But if you think about this, all these numbers and formatting, it's actually very applicable to oncology AI, especially when we are talking about all the scans. How can AI really help us to predict whether we have cancer or not? Everything I've shown you was the foundation to build something like this for you. The model itself, based on the data, you can see clearly which area may be the area that have tumor. But that is not very convincing because even though we have data, but something not very right. What is that? Take a look at that. What do you see? If you see a picture moving around, you are hallucinating. The picture itself never moves. It's you hallucinate itself by looking at the picture, and hallucinate is yet another word of the year back in 2023 by 2 organizations. We know that AI is very famous on hallucinate, but why? You know, everyone, when we're talking about AI, they're talking about AI model. Gemini, ChatGPT, or Haiku from Claude. There are a lot of models here. But the problem is, training a model is expensive. Multi-million dollars for the models, it's already very cheap. But by the time you finish training your model, immediately the model got out of date. Why? Because data keeps coming back in every second and every minute. So that's why by keep training and updating the model is not really the right solution. Now, in the past year, because of a funding from NIH, we built an AI and data platform for cancer patients with social determinants of health. We combine not only the model, but also something called GraphRag, graph retrieval generation or augmented generation. We combine them together so that we got the reasoning power of the model. And at the same time, we got the most latest update and freshest memory. When we combine them, we can provide the truth for the patients. And we put it platform, or someone may call it an app. Again, it's another word of the year back in 2010, more than 15 years ago. Some of the app, like over that time, it's already not there in the App Store anymore. But right now, we have more than 2 million apps in the App Store. Are you going to install all the 2 million apps in your phone? Like, assuming your phone has unlimited capacity to hold all that, you may not want to install all of them because not everything is relevant to you. You only pick the one relevant to you for installing and use it. For oncology AI, when we really want something impactful, you need to ensure that your model or your solution is not a generic one-size-fits-all solution. You want the solution to be personalized so that your patient will feel that it's relevant, it's related to me. You know that already. 6-7 is the word of the year, but you may not realize that, in fact, in this topic, I'm not only putting 1, 2, but 3 word of the year here. AI, we have already talked a lot about that. So I don't want to spend much time. But let's talk about Brainrot. What is that? And what differentiates Brainrot than breakthrough? I think one of the very important criteria to differentiate them is Brainrot. You keep on scrolling your Instagram, Facebook, or sometimes LinkedIn, or different things, or TikTok, and then there will be no outcome, no result for you. But for breakthrough, after you do that, you really learn something. There is something that will impact the outcome. That is why and how we differentiate between Brainrot and breakthrough. Talking about the outcome, you cannot expect everything the AI system that you build will be perfect in the first time because AI is probabilistic. So how can we overcome this problem? We introduce human-in-the-loop AI. In fact, the system that I share with you, we call it Verizon, is not only a system allow people or allow the AI for machine learning, because human is in the loop. We also allow machine teaching. Who is teaching the machine? We collaborate with the machine, and then whenever we as a human expert find something wrong, we can introduce our comment and teach the machine so that it will become smarter and smarter. That's how we make sure that the outcome, even though it may not be perfect in the beginning, but it will keep improving over time. I know, look at your face sitting down there. Some of you may have a very important question in your mind, which is, so what? Cupid, good for you. You are like won the singing contest and being the Miss Vancouver pageant performer and all this kind of thing. But how does it really impact me? In the beginning of this talk, you heard about the song Dreamers, right? That was the anthem song for the World Cup 4 years ago. And 4 years later, I know that this year is another World Cup is coming up, right? So if we think about this, the World Cup was started from 1930. At that time, only 13 teams were there participating. And it's now becoming a global phenomenon. And a lot of people are just watching this event, maybe including some of you sitting right here. They gone through the first phase of attention and try to really get their substance and try to make everything to be truth, not fake. And finally, they are chasing, all the teams are chasing the outcome. Every 4 years, only one team. Every 4 years, only one team will win the prize. But they are chasing their dream by very concrete mission. They know what's their meaning. That's why right here, I can tell you and I can offer you one thing. That is, AMSTRO success is based on AMSTRO. We say, what? What is AMSTRO, by the way? The leadership or the board don't say anything. AMSTRO is the Asia and Middle East Society of Therapeutic Radiation and Oncology. But hold on, isn't it the truth as the attention, meaning, substance, truth, relevance, and outcome that we have just talking about in the past 30 minutes? That's why I said AMSTRO success is based on AMSTRO. If you are not trusting me, you just try that. Because today, these few days, you are sitting here not only for the food, not only for this environment, but you're here for one meaning. We want to change the world. We want to change the life of our patients. And by combining this, AMSTRO success is based on AMSTRO. If we keep this in our mind, let me tell you this. AMSTRO will not only be the word of the year, it will be the legacy for life for many people. So, Erentum Jai Zoom. I told you I know only 2 phrases in Arabic, and this is the second one. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, are you ready? I flew 13 hours from Washington, D.C. to here yesterday because I know the technology is mature enough for me to answer this question as yes. So this question is not for me, it's for you. Are you ready? Wow, I think we have a few hundred people here and only 2 people saying yes. That's great for you. You can do better. Are you ready? One more time. Are you ready? One more time. Are you ready? Now, let me introduce the chair for the next section, Will, to come up and continue the section that we have not finished in the before the lunch. Okay? Give a round of applause to Will.